Hi, my name is Aladin. Welcome to the Aladin Show. I hope everyone is doing well wherever you are around the world. Thank you for people who've been tuning into my show every single week. It's been so amazing the feedback I've been getting, and it's really empowering to do the videos every single week. Today we've got an interesting topic, which I actually thought of it this morning. I woke up and I thought, yeah, that's the topic I'm going to talk about. Is about zodiac star signs. It's a topic that I've been interested in for many years, and I know a lot of people, my friends and families and all that, they're always looking at into the newspapers and reading the magazine, trying to find out the zodiac sign and what it means, because we are really curious. You know, even if we don't believe it, we want to know a bit about ourselves, and that's where zodiac sign, star signs comes in. It's very fascinating, and it basically tells you about what time, when you were born, the date, the year, and basically gives you a sign that relates to a personality. And so it's something. So what star sign are you? Do you know your star sign? Have you looked at the traits of that? I'm sure you have. So There's so much in this. Today I'm just going to give a brief overview what zodiac star signs are and some personalities of those star signs. But I want to kind of give you an idea what zodiac is, the kind of basics of it. It's basically when you were born, the time you were born, the stars and the planets aligned. And when they're aligned and when you came into the world, you basically came with the kind of part of the energy of those alignments. So when I mean that is that everything is made of energy. We are made of energy. But when we come into the world, everything that is happening or aligning into the solar system is kind of within, part of our own energy when we are born into this earth. So we do come with some kind of some personality or some things of the solar system. In a sense, we are the solar system, we are the universe, within ourselves, and we have that part of us within ourselves. So zodiac is, as I mentioned, is when you were born, the stars and the planet aligned, and when they align or in a certain position in the universe or the solar system, and when you're born into this world, you bring in some kind of the energy of that. Now, there's so much in this, I'm sure some people go and get the chart read or made up, and they take, the person who's doing the reading takes the name, date of birth, time of birth, when you were born, around the world. All those things is taken into consideration to actually create your birth chart and tell you, what planets or what zodiac sign is where in this case. But today is basically talking a basic of what zodiac signs are and the personalities of those sort of things that you may understand. You may know some people who with a zodiac sign, and you think, oh my God, he or she is like that, So it's just a bit of fun thing to do. It's something, as I said, you don't need to take it seriously. But if you think there's something into it, then you could do more research on in that. Now, there's 12 signs, zodiac signs, and you might see something on the screen. There's 12 zodiac signs, and it starts from from Aries to Sagittarius, and each one I'll go through and explain briefly kind of what they are, what the sign is, and what does it relate to. Fire, water, earth, it relates to one of those things, and also some kind of personality characteristics of it. As I said, don't take it seriously. The thing about zodiac sign, some people take it too seriously and say, oh my God, I'm like this, or this person is like that. Remember that we grow as people, as individuals, as we grow every single day. And even if you started when you're younger of a different personality, we don't stay the same. We, in the 20s, 30s, 40s, we all change. So we don't stay the same as the same person. So we do change. So as a zodiac sign, don't kind of stick with it saying that he, she is exactly like that. We are not. Two people could be born in the same day, same time. They could be totally different people because they've got other planets which are aligned in different positions, and they may have other signs in their, they will have other signs in their chart. You know, so one person could be a Cancer, another one's a Cancer, but their moon sign could be different. Moon sign is like emotional. They could be emotionally a fire, or a Leo, emotionally a Sagittarius. So, you know, there's so much to look into if you go really go deep into reading a sign. So that's something that, you know, you could look into it if you want. Are you interested in finding more about it? So, as I mentioned, that most of us, when we're reading newspapers or magazines, we look at our star signs. Basically, this the thing we look at is our sun star sign. That is telling us more about our core selves. You know, when we're born, is something that doesn't really change much within ourselves. So, for example, the sun is the center of the solar system. So the sun within us, the personality within us doesn't change. That you know, part of us will stay throughout our whole life. Then we've got the moon. Moon is about emotions. So it's about emotional self. So that's totally different from what we are in a core self. But moon means that how we feel about things, you know, our life kind of journey, our intuition, all those deep stuff is related to the moon. And the rising sign is more about how other people perceive us, how we show ourselves in the world. It's like wearing a mask, how other people might see us. So that's a rising sign. So these are the three parts that we should look at if you really want a wee bit in-depth reading. But most of us look at the sun sign. It's like more about, you know, our core selves, but looking at the emotional as well, checking what star sign are you as in the moon, and also star sign as you in a rising. All those three will actually give you some kind of more in depth about your personality or somebody else's as well. So first, let's start with Aries. That's where it starts. But Aries are, if you're born in the date, I've got this date here, is from March the 21st to April the 19th. That's you, Aries. That's a fire sign. Aries is a very fiery sign, very independent, brave, impulsive. Likes to do adventurous things, likes to take chances, doesn't want to stay still in life. So remember, that could be when somebody's younger. Sometimes when they grow older, they calm down. But usually Aries start with those five personality, this kind of, you know, that kind of person they they start with, but doesn't mean they will be like that as time goes on. It's about, that's some of the things they have. It's like they are adventurous, they like to try things, and they want to be independent, don't want to be tied down. All those things are Aries, you know. Sometimes they don't settle till quite late in life, and that's because they feel that they maybe lose their independence. They want to do so many things. So emotionally, they don't want to be tied down that quickly. So and they're very driven. They're very driven to succeed. They want to do things in life, and they'll try and they'll go forward. They're very strong emotionally. They might feel a bit down sometimes, but they get themselves back on track. That's the great thing about Aries, is they do that. They don't stay, and they try to stay very positive. And as the time goes on, they become quite deep as people. So that's some of the personalities and traits of Aries. I mean, as I said, it doesn't, if you feel it doesn't connect with you, it's more about, it's just about having a bit of fun with this. But I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in there that you may recognize in yourself and other people, and those things sometimes don't change. But as I said, this other star signs they also are connected to will influence their personality. So that's something to look at. So that's Aries, a fiery sign, Taurus is April the 20th to May the 20th. So they're the earth sign. You know, they are grounded, they're responsible, they are down to earth, but they can be a bit stubborn because they want to do things, they do it in a slow way, they don't rush it, they do take their time. They'll stick with something quite long term. They can be, they're not that kind of people who will change their jobs very quickly. They'll stick with something, they try, and those are the people who love food. Taurus love food. You know, the earthly Taurus grounded people, they like good relationship, they like family, they are family orientated, they love their children, they're very connected to family, they're very connected to community. You know, they like people, they like to talk to people, people get to know them, they're as I said, they're very respected as well. So doesn't mean somebody's like that and you may recognize, you think, oh no, he or she is not like that. As I said, there's other star signs that do connect to their personality. So that is a kind of basic of Taurus. They're very sensual, down to earth, responsible. As I said, definitely like food. They definitely like food. I know quite a few of them and they love their food. As I said, they're very family orientated. They want to look after their own family, immediate family. They look after their friends as well. So that's a very earthly, kind of down to earth sign. They are business minded. They'll take their time to, do something. They'll think about it. It'll take their time sometimes, but they'll do it. They'll do it. The next one is Gemini. Now, Gemini is May the 21st and the June the 20th, and that's an air sign. And that sign is, they like communication. They're very like a CEO of a company. They like to tell people what to do, or not tell, they advise people what to do. They like to be the head of the company. They want to run a business. They want to run an organization, company. And they like other people they like to direct other people what to do. They've got many, many talents. They are very intelligent, analytical as well. They like fun. They like to have fun. They have many ideas, but they like to travel as well. But they have connection with family. But I think they're more of rather than getting too emotional, they can be detached. They may look a bit detached. They won't go into the kind of emotional side of it, but that's that's some of the kind of the traits that the Gemini might have that you might come across. But they're really good friends. That's why they make good friends. They'll be honest as well. They'll be kind of straightforward and honest, tell you. And that's an air sign. As you can see, I started with fire. Aries, Taurus is more of an earthly sign, and Gemini is air sign. So air is flowing, easy, can go wherever it can. That's the feeling of air. Earth is more of a grounded, knows where you want to stay, kind of, and fire is very kind of, can be very, not flowy, but fiery, but also the fire could increase, can be angry. Also, that's kind of the fire parts of it. I think it's good to have bits of every star sign in your chart because it gives you a balance rather than having the same one throughout your chart. Cancer, which is more friends, so I am Cancer, I'm falling to Cancer, I'm water sign. So I'm a water. Cancer is like as you can imagine the water flowing. Water flows whatever direction in the downwards. It doesn't go upwards. It's very positive. It stays in that direction. It can be quite emotional sign. They seem to do a lot for people, nurture, nurture kind of feel. They're motherly, caring kind of, or fatherly, caring type. They love their family, their children. They like to do their best for other people. But they are a bit practical, but yet some people might say they're a bit airy-fairy because they're very optimistic about life. But the thing about Cancerians is they can be too attached. When they give something or themselves to somebody, they can have a difficulty of releasing that. So emotionally, they sometimes, that could be a issue, but as they grow older, I think they learn their lessons. I think Cancerians are more of, they learn their lessons quite quickly as well. And they seem to, the great thing is that people like them. They get on with every single sign. Cancer is the one, I think, gets on with every single sign. Doesn't matter the fire, water, earth. But as I said, the thing is, they start with an emotional. They're very emotional, deep individuals. Cancer, they're very giving. They work for charity. They love like jewelry and other things. But also like Taurus and Aries, they are a very business-minded people. They want to be successful as well. But yet they like balance in life. They like balance. Now we've got the next one, which is Leo. Leo is another fire sign. That's July 23rd to August the 22nd. So if that's your birthday, that's a Leo. That's the fire sign. Those people are very creative, very popular. They want to be in the center of attention. They like to be liked. They want to impress people. Those are the things. And women out there who are Leos, they like to look after themselves. They like shopping. They like their appearance. They like to look good. They always want to stay looking good. And they're very generous and kind as well. But thing about Leos is that because they want to be in the center of attention, they seem to sometimes not be aware of other people's feelings. That might be one of the kind of thing. They're very, as I said, they're very warm-hearted, generous people, individuals, funny, good to be around, very popular. People like them, very easy. They make a lot of friends easily. All those are great qualities about Leo, but they can be fiery sometimes. But when they're fiery, when they're angry, they do calm down very quickly. Whereas some of the signs out there, when somebody one of the signs could get angry, it's quite difficult. But with Leo, is when they get, upset or angry, they usually calm down very quickly. So that's a great thing as well. As I said, they like to be popular, center of attention. So that's a Leo. That's a fire sign. So please, and when you're watching the videos, if you got comments, if you know other personalities, please write below in the comments and like to know more in depth about the signs that you know about, or the sign you are in. Who are you? What kind of personality do you have? The next one is Virgo. That's an earth sign, earthly, same as a Taurus. Is they're grounded. Virgo is very hardworking. They want to be successful. They are successful. They're creative. They're clever. They're really particular. They're very organized. They want the certain way. They'll take their time to have it perfect. Sometimes doesn't matter how long it takes. They want it perfect the way they want it. Whereas some people just go out and do it, saying, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Whereas they would say, okay, no, I want things in place. This is how it has to work. This is how to do it. So it's very analytical people as well. Very funny. A lot of Virgos are good singers, and comedians. They are very funny. I have friends who are Virgo. They're very funny. They are very helpful. But they are very hardworking as well. They're very hardworking, very creative. Just like other signs, every sign out there is hardworking. But the thing about Virgo is they want everything perfect, in a certain way. Before they even launch a business, they need to make sure everything is in place, everything is working. They're really particular on having it their way, kind of thing. They have to make sure. So that's a great, that's great to have a Virgo, and if you're starting a business, because you need that kind of quality in a business as well. The next sign is Libra. Libra is September 23rd to October 22nd. You know, Libra is an air sign. You know, it is same as Gemini, air sign. They're very sometimes can be indecisive, but they're very clever, very analytical, very romantic in mind. You know, maybe not romantic in reality, but they might be romantic in mind. They love adventures. They like to, you know, they are driven. They're very motivated. They also like to help people. They also, you know, charity-wise as well. They like to help other people. Emotionally, sometimes they can be they seem detached. They don't show their feelings, but in their mind they might be having a picture of being romantic, but actually coming down to reality is a different matter. So Libra is they're very lovely people too. I've got a lot of friends who are Libras, and they're so funny, outgoing, fun to be around with. You know, Libras is really nice. Very, as I said, they like to communicate with people. They're very, it's like, as you can hear, is air. Libra is air. Gemini is air. As you can see, they like communication. They like to run a business. They want to be at top of a company. They want to be more a self-employed basis as well. So same as Cancer, who wants to be self-employed. But all those, you know, as I said, please add anything in the comments if you know if you want to add other things to being a Libra. You know, if you're a Libra, please add those things. There's amazing things to be Libras have. So next one is Scorpio. Now, Scorpio have been known to, some people say it's a dangerous sign. Well, I don't think they're dangerous. I think they're absolutely lovely. They are very deep individuals, very deep, emotional individuals. They won't talk about what's going on. They are aware of things happening around them, or very aware of other people, who they are. They're more of they know how a person is in deep, in a sense, in the soul connection wise. They see beyond people's masks. Scorpios, they like, as I said, their family is very important and friends are very important. They like closeness. They like that more emotional bond. Two Scorpios are more emotional bond. They won't talk about their emotions, but they're very, very deep individuals that have kind of want to be connected with somebody through the soul side of it. They're, as I said, they're family orientated, and sometimes Scorpio could be very jealous. If they've got a partner, they don't like somebody to be talking to somebody else, so the jealousy side that can come over Scorpio. But as I said, it's not everybody's like that. It's, you know, that could be there slightly, just like other signs, the jealousy is there. But with Scorpio, they want to have their partner around just for them sometimes. So that's the only thing. They're very, very wise. As time goes on, they become very wise. As they become very deep, they become very spiritual. So in a sense of Scorpios can be very spiritual individual as time goes on. They want their independence at the beginning, but later on in life, they become more in, as I mentioned, more wiser, more connection with their inner self, to understanding more about life, more about other people. So, and they can read a lot of people quite quickly as well. So Sagittarius is a fire sign. So Sagittarius is open-minded, fun. They try to do many things, but they don't really stick with it. You know, sometimes they want to do so many. That's the thing. They are risk takers. They, you know, if something comes up, they'll see it. Some people won't, a lot of people won't go for it. They'll go for it. You know, let's do it. Very happy, optimistic, look at life in a positive way, just enjoy life, could be impatient. That's the thing, is like they don't have the patience to kind of stick with something, but they could, they just want to do things, so many things in life, have fun. They want to find people who are similar to them that could also have fun. They don't want to be bored, so boredom is quite a difficult thing for them. So also they want to travel. They can be very loving, caring, very generous, and very fun-loving people. So Sagittarius is a fire sign. Just like Aries and Leo are fire, Sagittarius, Leo, and you know, all those. And then you got Libra, and you've got Gemini, which is air, and you've got Gemini, Taurus, and Virgo, which is earth as well. And next one is Capricorn. Capricorns are very hardworking and very straightforward. They'll tell you straight in your face what they think, and without thinking about if it's going to hurt that person or not. Sometimes it could be straightforward, it could be really hurtful. They are very disciplined and can become workaholics. Sometimes they could focus on work so much that forget about life, forget about relationships. Sometimes have a balanced relationship. It's very difficult for Capricorns. So, and there can be quite a bit of stubbornness about them. If something is introduced, they would need to really think about it, need to analyze it before they even kind of make any change. Sometimes it takes a bit of time if it's something totally new, if they don't understand it. But they are very hardworking, driven individuals. They want to be successful in life. They want to help their friends. They, you know, they're really good friends with so many people. They want to help people, but they possibly don't have time for other things because they're so focused in their work and or something else they're doing, which they want to succeed in. So Capricorn are really hardworking, and they care a lot about family. They do the hard work because of the family. They want to obviously provide for the family, and that's something Capricorn does as well. Aquarians, right, the next one is air. Aquarius is logical, analytical, skeptical, I would say, always asking questions and trying to find answers. If it doesn't fit in, logically, then they don't look at something because they have to, it has to make sense in their head. If it's it has to be black or white. It can't be grey for Aquarius. They have to be either black or white, and they can't see beyond that. I wouldn't say they're deep feelers. They also emotionally can be a bit detached feel to it. It doesn't mean they are, it's just that they may come across like that. It's like, they want things done this way, that way. They'll say it, they're straightforward as well. But emotionally getting something, expressing the emotions can be quite difficult for an Aquarius person. That's some of the things that I picked up with some people I know. Lovely people, easy to get on with, great friends. Emotionally, I think is something that maybe they should work on a bit. But what happens is as people get older or wiser in time, they change anyway. They learn those lessons, hopefully, and they have take on those parts of other signs that help them as well. Now we've got Pisces, which is water sign as well, and Pisces got a free, sensual, caring people. They can be dreamers. Sometimes they're very gentle, very kind, very giving, make great friends, get on with people. Sometimes they have to kind of get back to reality. They feel maybe sometimes uneasy where they are. They want to change and maybe do a lot of changes throughout their life. They sometimes don't know where they fit in. but it's because they're always looking for maybe something, but they are fun loving, like to have fun. They like to be around friends. They're very, as I said, they're very caring people, very caring, good friends to have as Pisces. So they're water signs. So as I mentioned, water signs here, as you can see, Cancer, Pisces, and we've got Scorpio, are linked to emotions. Those are the signs are emotional signs. They link with, they talk from their heart, I think, more than anything. They feel from their heart. When it comes to people, when connecting to people, they want the similar things from the people, but when they come across somebody who does not connect emotionally, they might find a bit hard to connect with them. But end of the day, all the signs get on with each other. That's great. But for example, Sagittarius, Aries and Leo are fire signs. You know, they go out, they want to get things done, they don't want to be stuck in one place, they want to be more independent, they want to go and do things. Sometimes they do things without thinking, and then they made a bit of mistake, but they don't really care. They keep going. You know, they keep going. They like change as well. They don't mind a bit of change here then. But what happens as time goes on, those fire signs slowly, I don't want to say die out the fire, but this eventually calm down, more settled kind of energy, more and more kind of related to family. I said they're very generous, kind people, and they seem to, you know, want to help people as well. So, and those are the three signs for the fire. And then you got air. As a air is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Very, you know, air is like flowy and easy. And those are the signs which are like that, easy and flowy, and you know, and they're very kind of analytical. They're more of a mind people. You know, they have to think if that's right, does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense, they usually don't do anything about that. It takes time for them to kind of, if you're talking about feelings, you know, sometimes it's not best to talk about any feelings with those air signs. Then you've got Taurus, which is earth, Virgo, and you've got Capricorn. Those are very grounded people who, you know, want to just put their head down, keep working, keep going. They get on with people, as it's like all the signs do. They want certain things their own way. They make sure it's still their way they want it. If you tell them to do in a certain way or in a faster way, they would want to take their time and really think about it. They also want to help. Those are the signs also help the community as well, whereas all of the signs do as well, but those signs do want to help the community, be part of the community. And so that's really, so those are the 12 signs that you know, some of the personalities, characteristics of what they might. So you might come across yourself, I mean, you know yourself, you know what kind of person you are, but you'll come across, you know, your friends and family members, and you could just see if that's true, if it doesn't make sense. Do you know their signs, and does that make sense? But as I said, as time goes on, we all change, our energy changes, we don't stay the same, you know. You don't stay the same when you were 10, then you were 15, and to 20, 30, 40, we all change. So those personalities, those things will change as you get wiser, you learn your lessons in life. All those things will change. I know for a fact for myself, I'm a Cancer. Yeah, emotional side, I was very emotionally attached, but now I would say that I've learned my lesson. So I come across maybe a wee bit a different sign, more of towards the fire sign, which I have in my chart anyway. I have my sun sign as a Cancer, and a moon sign as a Scorpio, and as a rising sign as a Sagittarius. So I do have two, you know, those two major two water signs, whereas a fire sign as well. So I may come across to people, I'm sure people know me, who say, you know, I'm easy to go on with people. I like to have fun. I get on with life, you know, all this. So I'm a Sagittarius appearance, but emotionally I'm a Scorpio, and as a sun I'm a Cancer. You know, that's the three star signs I know within my chart, and there's others as well. But just don't take it seriously. Just have a bit of fun. See, look at your friends, chat, friend and family, and see, and just see if it actually makes sense. Does it make sense? Does your brother, your daughter, or sister, does that make sense? And it's just very interesting that saying that universe is we're all connected anyway. So anything that happens within the planets out in the solar system, it does affect our energy of the Earth anyway. So any movement of other planets, it affects Earth as well. So if it affects the Earth, so it must affect us in some way. That's why some people say when there's a full moon, a lot of people get very emotional. They feel that a lot of things that are not happening, a lot of things don't really work out, or things do work out. So when there's a full moon, there's a feeling of, they feel there's a shift within their own energy. And that's something, if you want to find out more about it, please do your own research and find out more about that as well. So it's just not that one star sign you have many star signs in your chart. So have a look at it, get someone to, if you know somebody, they could actually create a birth chart and tell you more about yourself. And I think, do you really want to know more about yourself? I think you already know more about yourself. But in other cultures, what they do is, for example, in India, they, have when a bride is looking for a groom, they have a birth chart. They find out the bride's date of birth and everything, and they have a chart, and they make sure the bride and the groom are compatible with the star sign. If that doesn't work, they don't get married. So there's so many cultures, they actually check the birth time, date, and year, and to make sure they're compatible as a couple. And I don't know if it works or not. I'm sure it does in some ways, but at the end of the day, relationship doesn't matter who you marry or who you're with. It's about working in that relationship as time goes on, and you grow as two people together. But obviously, before you get in those cultures, they want to make sure the marriage is a happy marriage. So they do that. So must be something in that, looking at the birth chart. So if you plan to marry somebody, or you want your daughter, sister, or son to get married, maybe try that birth chart. See what's the girl's birth chart or the boys, and see if they're compatible together. So, and sometimes I think it could tell you about your children, what are most likely to have, what in the sign they are likely to have children. So it's an interesting subject to look into. And there's so many stuff in media, social media, and the newspapers. They talk about zodiac signs, and so many people are interested because they want to know more about themselves. They want to know more about other people. That's who we are. We get curious. We want to find more. We want to know more from other people, what they think of us or think of another person. So every day some people wake up and saying, you're going to have an amazing day, Cancer. Today is going to be an amazing day. You're going to meet somebody in the street and you're going to fall in love. And people believe that because they feel good. They don't want to hear. And then you might find that Sagittarius, don't go into work today. You might be, your boss might say this and that. And a lot of that stuff is made up, a lot of stuff. You don't know who's writing what. But, as I said, it's take off a pinch of salt. Just go out and do your own research. And if you've got interest in this subjects, please do. I think it's very fascinating. I think a lot of things is really, really true in those things. But it's actually finding out, learning from the right person if you want to learn more about the zodiac signs. So I hope this has helped. As I say, it's very, very brief kind of explanation of the 12 zodiac sign. But if you want to know more, and if you want to ask me a question about your sign, I'm happy to have a quick chat with you online on Facebook, and maybe. But as I said, it's just a very interesting subject to look into. So please message me if you got any questions. You could contact me on my Facebook, on my main page, and also on my profile page as well. So I hope you have enjoyed this, because it's something I enjoy. You know, it's a bit of fun to do. And if you any questions, please contact me. By the way, as you can see on my video, this is obviously I've got Aladin. If you're interested in health and well-being, please look at my website, which is Aladin at Synergy Worldwide. We've got amazing skincare range on that. We've got products for health and well-being, for blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, MS, all those things. The product is amazing for if you've got any health challenges. You know, just send me a wee message, and I'm happy to have a wee chat with you. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching the video. You know, I want to thank the guys behind the camera of the graphics media for, you know, setting everything up every single day, and it's amazing to have them to do all that. And thank you for your support, and thank you for empowering me to do videos every single week. Thank you, and I hope you could join me next week on my page. Have a great day.
If you have a dream